So you guys want amnesty after we had to deal with this.
Fauci said that if hospitals get any more overcrowded, they're going to have to make some very tough choices about who gets an ICU bed. That choice doesn't seem so tough to me. Vaccinated person having a heart attack? Yes, come right on in. We'll take care of you. Unvaccinated guy who gobbled horse goo? Rest in peace, Wheezy.
Guys, John Claymore here. Now, I was a little bit hesitant to make this particular video, and I'll tell you why here in a second. But we got to discuss this article from Dr. Oster, whatever her name is, at The Atlantic, who decided to write this piece, why it is that maybe we should give COVID amnesty. I'm kind of sitting there, I'm thinking about, like, you know what, after all the crap we went through, I don't think it's a good idea. But see, the thing is this right here. The reason why I initially did not want to make this video is because I thought that the topic would be a little bit too dumb for these people to comprehend. Because let's be honest, we are dealing with psychopaths. Yes, I said that. Not to mention the fact that if you say the C word in any of your videos, YouTube finds a way to still put a label on it warning people of possible medical misinformation, which, by the way, I'm not going to be doing any of that, but I am going to be discussing the reason why it is that they're doing this. And I'm also going to be discussing all the stuff that we lost. Of course, we're going to be talking about political ramifications because guess what? It is political in nature. That is the reason why they're doing it. But I'm going to save that there for last because there's a lot to get into with this video. Now, guys, another reason why I did not want to necessarily get into this topic is because, well, for the most part, where I lived at, we were actually quite fortunate. I know that there's a lot of families out there who lost loved ones, who lost friends, who lost all kinds of stuff. I mean, I started a YouTube channel during that time frame, mostly out of boredom, but it's not like I got out of there scot-free. Everybody in this country lost something during 2020. If you think you got out of it unscathed, I don't know what the hell to tell you, but everybody lost something. It's just to what extent. Some people lost grandmothers, some people lost grandfathers, some people lost wives, husbands, all that type of stuff. But we got to talk about this because these people right here love to remind us that, we are much, much better than you. Oh, we'll give you COVID amnesty. Yeah, that's kind of a joke after dealing with this crap right here for close to a year. And, of course, not to mention throughout a good portion of 2021 as well. I'll catch you on the flip side.
But our patience is wearing thin, and your refusal has cost all of us.
People who are incubators for every variant to come, walking around lawfully unvaccinated? That's psychotic.
For the unvaccinated, you're looking at a winter of severe illness and death. For yourselves, your families, and the hospitals you may soon overwhelm.
About this, in a world of threats and tyrants and terror, you know what our biggest enemy is in America? Our fellow Americans.
They are the ones that are propagating this outbreak.
Being frustrated that there is still a percentage of the population who are not vaccinated.
I wish that he would go further to restrict the activities of the unvaccinated.
Vaccinated person having a heart attack? Yes, come right on in. We'll take care of you. Unvaccinated guy who gobbled horse goo? Rest in peace, Wheezy.
That 25% can cause a lot of damage, and they are.
If you're willing to walk among us unvaccinated, you are an enemy.
Well, you know, it's my rights. Okay. But I don't care.
The pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Well, look, the only pandemic we have is among the unvaccinated. And they're killing people.
Freedom not to follow the facts, even if your freedom kills people? What kind of freedom is that? What kind of freedom do they really want?
We have a pandemic because of the unvaccinated, and they're sowing enormous confusion. The unvaccinated overcrowd our hospitals, are overrunning emergency rooms and intensive care units, leaving no room for someone with a heart attack or pancreatitis or cancer.
Shouldn't they have to pay more into the system because they are collapsing our health system? They're the ones in the ERs.
Require vaccination universally. Have the military run it. If you don't want to get vaccinated, you better be ready to prove your conscientious objector status in court.
It's almost like it's going to be two Americas.
You want amnesty after all of that. And like I said, guys, there is a political end game to it, and I will get to it towards the end. But I want to talk about the stuff that we lost. First and foremost, we got Brandy Weingarten. I can't think of I would like to say that Dr. Fauci was despicable, but you see, Brandy Weingarten went out of her way during COVID to take advantage of it. You see, they pushed this whole distance learning crap on us. At the same time, while pushing that crap on us, they then turned right back around and got an actual glimpse into our homes, which, by the way, was a complete evasion of privacy. You see, they completely ignored the science. Don't worry, we will get to that in a second. But what did we get when she was around? What did we get in 2020? We got wokeness being thrown in our schools. We got CRT. We got kids being masked. By the way, being masked for pictures while a fat water buffalo down in Georgia running for governor did not wear a mask at all. We had to deal with crap like that. Wokeness, CRT, all that bull crap. So forgive me if I'm not so inclined to go along with this program. Please excuse me if I say no to your amnesty, as it will be explained right here.
Backing a push for so-called pandemic amnesty. That apparently means forgiving policy decisions made during the height of COVID, no matter how many people were hurt. Here to talk about it is Pete Hegseth. So this was in the Atlantic. This is the headline, call for number 3. Let's declare a pandemic amnesty. And Randy Weingarten of the Teachers Union, she was like, yeah, actually, let's just do that. What do you think, Pete?
Of course she says that. First of all, anyone could be forgiven for the first 15 days to slow the spread, the first couple of weeks and months. We get that. Even the latter part of the 2022 school year, finish the school year, stay safe, stay careful. That's when Randy Weingarten went to work against the science and for her own prerogatives, working with the CDC eventually later on to try to keep schools closed. The first step to amnesty, if you want to call it that, or forgiveness, is apologizing, is standing up and recognizing we were wrong. The thing is, that would mean they believe they were wrong. See, no, they believe they were able to get to the trough, pull more money for government schools, more money for teachers, effectively an extortion. Kids were always an afterthought. They knew distance learning wouldn't be effective. They knew kids would fall behind. They knew the science, as we learned more, confirmed that kids could go to school safely, unmasked. Even when all of that came to light, Dana, they politically decided to lobby to keep schools shut down. There's no forgiveness to be given here. None. There should only be consequences. Consequences for her within her union, and consequences on election day in 6 days when voters revolt, not just at what happened with COVID, Dana, but COVID revealed the poison of indoctrination in our K through 12 schools as well. These teachers unions use the money oftentimes to push radical diversity, equity, and inclusion curriculum as opposed to getting kids back in school. So I don't think anybody's looking for
the saddest part of this entire ordeal, especially when it comes to schools, is the fact that the kids are the most important thing. They are our actual younger generation. I don't have any kids of my own, but I know people who have kids, and I have family that have kids. By the way, I always have to say that, none that I know of, but let's just go ahead and be honest, I ain't got none. The thing is this right here. This right here was a travesty. Children lost learning. Children were forced to go through all types of crazy stuff. And of course, after that, we get all the drag queen shows, and we're told that if we try to protect our children from the actual system, that we are the bad guy. Of course, CRT, all that stuff right there. That's another video for another day. But the thing is this right here. What about the lockdowns? Well, you see, the lockdowns, they cost us a lot too. Now, guys, I want to empathize with our people in the blue states, because I know that not everybody in these blue states voted for these crazy leaders. What did you have? Andrew Cuomo, the nursing home incident. By the way, you're seeing a photo right now of a grandmother behind glass. A grandmother in a nursing home behind glass. Now, I would show you the video, but it's too heartbreaking to do. It was a TikTok. It was released to Twitter a while back. It's just too heartbreaking watching this old woman struggle to figure out how to work the microphones so that way she could talk to her freaking grandchildren, okay? Then you had, what was her name? Gretchen Whitmer. Oh, yeah, that's right. Her husband went out there and was able to go on a boating trip, got caught doing that. Oh, by the way, that's right. She did some nursing home crap, too. Gavin, screw your wife, Newsom. Yeah, him, too. Also, going out to eat and all that stuff there, going to go meet up with friends. Meanwhile, not wearing a mask while other people are out there actually wearing a mask, trying to force people to wear a mask in their actual homes. By the way, those are their homes. Oh, let's not forget the riots. The George Floyd riots. All those riots over a crackhead, over a drug addict. And we had to watch people paint murals of him in the street. Oh, that's right. We had to watch Kyle Rittenhouse go through what he did after he defended himself against the guy who was released from a mental institution for child pedophilia earlier that day, and another scumbag by the name of Huber. And by the way, was then forced to defend himself against this guy named Gage Groschwitz, who would then turn right back around after attempted murder of Kyle Rittenhouse, try to actually sue the city of Kenosha, Wisconsin for thousands of dollars. Thank God Kyle Rittenhouse got off on that right there. Yeah, I had to write a lot of this out. Oh, that's right. We had to deal with the propaganda. We had to deal with the death of comedy. We had to deal with Saturday Night Live at the end of the year on New Year's Eve, taking off all their masks and dancing with one another and all that crap. We had to deal with a mayor, an idiot by the name of Bill de Blasio, dancing with his wife out in the street of New York City. We had to deal with that crap there. We had to deal with all these lockdowns. We had to deal with the Karen culture. We had to deal with somebody complaining about us. And like I said before, the vaccine. We had to deal with the death of late night comedy, how the vaccine was pushed. By the way, I never got jabbed, and thank God I never did, because there is something else to me bringing up towards the end of this video. You see, I don't believe in karma, okay? You see, I believe that we should have justice, retribution, and compensation. Compensation, of course, is probably not going to come our way because the rate of inflation has completely bankrupted this government. However, justice, I think, is what is actually the order of the day. We'll get to that here in a second. I mean, we lost grandmothers, we lost grandfathers, we lost loved ones, we lost family members, we lost time, we lost pieces of our lives. Kids were locked out of playgrounds. They lost time with their friends, okay? People got sick as a result of the virus. By the way, alcoholism shot through the roof. You also shut down our food supply in some areas and forced us to eat fast food, which, by the way, accelerated our death rate much, much faster. To go with that there, you also shut down our gyms. You told us we could not go outside. There's one photo of here of a man who was actually surfing, who got picked up by the actual police. I can't remember if that happened in Florida or if it happened in California. I'm assuming it happened in California. Somebody correct me in the comment section. He got arrested for going to the beach. Nobody was freaking there, and he got arrested for it. Okay, this is the type of crap we had to deal with. Not only the crap from the celebrities, who, by the way, decided to sing Imagine, a whole rendition on Instagram, which, quite frankly, I don't want to relive. We had to deal with the literal hypocrisy. We were demonized for not taking the jab. We were demonized. We were dehumanized in every freaking way possible. You got this one guy who I'm showing a little video of, who, quite frankly, was a fireman, a firefighter. Puts on his turnout gear, risks his life every day to go out there and save somebody else. But yet, because he did not get a jab, guess what? He can't eat in a restaurant in New York City where he freaking lives at. We had to deal with that type of stupid crap, okay? But we all know the real reasons why this right here is going on. And I think it's about time we kind of bring this up, the real reason why that is. It's all political. You see, Democrats are about to get completely wiped out. And I've been suspecting for a while that Joe Biden, deep down inside, like H.A. Goodman has suspected, is the Democrats actually want to get rid of the progressives and some of the loons, so that way Joe Biden can turn out and come out and take advantage of this and say, look, I've got some bipartisan senators who actually want to make some deals with me. We should come together as a country. So he wants to come together after all the bullshit you put us through. That right there is what the hell this is about. Or it could be about this here.
Framework that Andy Biggs would look at of how we proceed forward.
Well, the first thing you do is you identify the personnel that drove us off the cliff, and that would be Fauci and Birx right there. That'd be important to get to them. The CDC, with their myriad up and down contradictory statements, and then what you do is you take the evidence that we have. I mean, I got thrown off TV.
So my point is, you would start with the administrative state aspect of the federal government. Absolutely. You would start there with the administrative state, the institutional, and then the people driving the institutions. And you do not a political witch hunt, but literally just let's get down and find out. Let's go, but like they did the Pearl Harbor Commission and other things. Let's get down to the bottom of this and find out exactly what went on. Yeah, I mean that's right. So we want communications. We want to know what their objectives were, why there were so many mixed signals coming from somebody like a Dr. Fauci over masks. That's where you have to go and find out why were you not listening to studies with regard to elderly? Why were you attacking the elderly in the way you did? And why did you go to the kids when there was already active studies indicating little impact to and from and transmission from children? Why did you do these things? We have to get to the bottom of that. Not in a witch hunt fashion, because
to all you Republican senators, to all you Republican congressmen, you better not work with these SOBs. You better not. Here's the reason why. Like I said before, we deserve justice. We deserve compensation. We deserve retribution for this. The American people deserve this. By the way, there's a nice little rant here I'm going to leave in the description box for you guys. But here's the thing. We deserve justice, retribution. You see, Republicans, they get charged of the House. They get in charge of the Senate. And guess what they can do? They can actually do some investigations. They can actually look into it. Now, of course, Andy Biggs there said it would not be a witch hunt, and quite frankly, I don't think you should make it look like a witch hunt. Don't worry, we'll be discussing impeachment at a later date because I think that word right there is going to be tossed around a lot as well. Fact of the matter is that you cannot, under no circumstances, let these people get away with it. Oh, and I would be remiss to not mention Donald Trump. Guys, I voted for that guy twice. I'm going to probably vote for him a third time. You're thinking, after all this crap you just said, that is absolutely insane for you to even say. Let me explain something to you guys right quick. Donald Trump underestimated exactly how deep the swamp in this country is. He underestimated the literal hell out of it. That right there is a lesson I think he would have learned. However, he did actually let Dr. Fauci, the biggest fraud in American history, kind of run roughshod, kind of get a little bit too much more power. I personally think that they compromised the man. And I think it's time for actual justice, retribution, revenge, and compensation. Like I said, compensation more than likely is not going to be here. However, here is where the kicker is going to be. Here's the actual kicker. You see, these people are so slimy, they're so scummy that, quite frankly, they would do anything in the world to retain some type of slither of power. And like I said, while Trump, somewhat culpable, is a freaking fart in the wind compared to Cuomo and the nursing home scandal, over 15,000 dead right there. It's a smidgen compared to what Whitmer did. It's a smidgen compared to Tony Evers. It's a smidgen compared to what this establishment and this media did. It is a smidgen compared to all that crap. And as far as these vaccines are concerned, with all the crap that's coming out, yeah, I just find it absolutely hilarious that all these people in these cities who hated Donald Trump lined right on up to take his freaking vaccine. A vaccine that, for all I know, could have been made in the basement of Trump freaking Tower, for all I know. Okay? Don't you guys find that the least bit crazy? You see, we've been dealing with psychopaths and sycophants, and guess what? They're so crazy that they will probably even blame Donald Trump. But here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. And you know what? That's right. I forgot. I mentioned this earlier. You see, I don't believe in karma. Okay, I don't. I'm not a Hindu. I'm not Buddhist. I don't believe in karma. I just don't. But I do believe in this thing called poetic justice, which, by the way, I just brought up earlier. I said it, while I was in the middle of this rant. And I got thinking about something. So, all these liberals took this vaccine. I just got to wonder. By the way, YouTube, I'm not trying to spread any misinformation. I'm just kind of pondering. Nothing declarative. You factor that in, and oh, that's right, the price of diesel, our economy has gone. I mean, pretty much we already know about all that. Of course, a businessman would have known better how to handle that. But you factor in the fact that diesel is running low, and you find out that the cities only have about maybe 3 to 5 days of supplies. It makes me wonder exactly how chaotic it's going to be, how bad the cities are going to degrade. By the way, look at all the crime in these very, very large cities that, by the way, these blue state people voted for. So, yeah, that right there is your poetic justice. And guess what? It's going to get 10 times harder. You never forget this crap. You never forgive this crap. You do move forward, and you put these people who put you through this crap, and you put them in chains. So please, excuse me if I don't believe in your so-called amnesty. As a matter of fact, you can take that amnesty, roll it up nice and tightly, and shove it up your...
Jeff Munson here. You like watching people get fucked for free? Watch me fuck Mark Kerr for free. I'm gonna fuck him. I'm gonna put these hands right around his ass and fuck his ass.
John Claymore here. If you like the content, hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, sign up in the comment section. See you guys later.
I'm not like everybody else.